G'day, everyone. You have selected Wind Against Time. Wind Against Time. Wind Against Tide.
Goodness, Dave.
Our own show. Wind Against Tide as your easy listening station for today. And we are coming at you after a massive week in our world. We ticked off a big achievement.
Let's not muck around here, Dave. Let's get straight to it.
Straight into it.
It may not be significant to others, but this is very significant for us.
No. You've got to be someone who lives in our locality to understand the significance of this capture. People who have been following the show know we really, really enjoy our tuna fishing. Specifically, and most of all, the really big ones. Now, you got to remember where we live is basically, well, it's pretty close to being...
mud pond.
It's pretty close to being centrally in Bass Strait. So traditionally, when we were younger, it was like you couldn't even dream of tuna swimming through. And then all of a sudden there was school fish coming through, school bluefin, which was quite a big deal. And these days, and actually probably for the last 4 or 5 years, there's been captures of what we call the barrels, which is the real big dogs.
Yeah, like we've discussed what a barrel is. It's something, I guess, what did we say, over 80 kilos?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, we've just come up with some random measurement.
Okay, jumbies. Jumby-sized tuna.
Yes. So this is our little pet project is we just randomly drive out into Bass Strait because it's close to home and it's something that we can do quite easily, but we do it just on a whim, go out there and search around and try and find some of these bigger fish. Now, I've sort of worked it out. I think we've hooked or caught probably 4 now locally. Hooked 4.
Yep.
Over probably a 5-year period. And
longer. I think the first one we ever hooked out there was 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe it was, yeah.
So it's coming up to...
Wow,
6
time
years,
flies.
yeah.
Time really flies.
It really does when you're having fun.
Yes.
Which it really isn't a lot of fun when you're out there not seeing a lot and not catching anything day after day, week after week.
That's right. I reckon that we've probably averaged about, 20, 30 trips per hookup of a big one.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, so... Anyway, a lot of time, and obviously these days a lot of money in fuel getting invested.
Especially these days when I guess it's, over the $2 mark. So
yeah, I mean, the Renegade is not too bad. But when you're filling the Edencraft up and doing big days offshore, and you're doing a lot of Ks because you're searching. Yeah. Let's just say the last couple of times I've filled it up, it's been $300 plus.
Which isn't too bad because you're not covering too much ground.
Well, it is pretty bad.
Yeah. No, I'm saying considering
it's an efficient boat. Yeah. That's just how much we've been using because
the price of gasoline, I guess.
What we really need is just a helicopter.
Yes, just find us the tuna.
Find us where they are. That would be a cheap option, wouldn't it?
I think there was a syndicate that used to hire helicopters and local little Cessna planes flying over the Great Ocean Road area and used to spot tuna for them.
Yeah.
Did you hear of that?
I have heard of that. Guys hiring helicopters, which is smart. I suppose if you split it up between a few people, it probably works out pretty well, but we digress. Anyway, just trying to set the scene as to how meaningful that capture is to us. So, yeah, we went out last Friday and there had actually been few whispers as discussed on last podcast. So we had an unusual amount of, I wouldn't say confidence. We still didn't think we'd catch one, but there was more motivation than usual to head out. And as it worked out, my brother Tom was actually able to come along and he hasn't done many days out there and he's actually been involved in 2 hookups. So maybe he's a lucky charm, Adrian.
Oh, yeah, he actually is. I was actually reminding him the last time us 3 fished together out there, we lost a big mako shark, and before that it was a big bluefin tuna that we lost.
Another big bluefin,
it was only
which we've covered
time-
many times.
Yeah, it was only time that we landed a good fish together because we lost 2 good fish in 2 trips that we'd done together.
That's right.
So third time lucky.
That is right. So, yeah, quite surreal to launch out of our local boat ramp. And Tom even had to drop his kids at daycare, and we were organising stuff in the morning, so we didn't even launch till 8.
No, and he got there late and we just kind of sitting there like, is he coming?
Yeah. We were sort of fueling up the boat, and Tom came through. But anyway, we headed out there at the crack of 8 and sort of headed way out offshore to a little area I'd sort of noticed was looking all right when I went out in the rough last week. So I suppose going out in the rough and getting pounded to death kind of helped.
I think I spoke about that on the last podcast, how you pummeled yourself.
Yeah, we did.
And then 2 days after that, that's when we ended up being covered in glory.
Well, yeah, I kind of went straight back to that zone where I'd found the best action. And it looked quite good. So we had a lot of dolphins and some seals and gannets and oversized seagulls flapping about.
We did.
Pacific gulls, you might call them, Adrian. A lot of krill in the water.
Well, there's also albies as well.
Albie mangles.
I think I actually caught one, which is a first.
Yeah. It's delicious.
It's not recommended.
Penguins. Quite lively, really. So, yeah, it looked quite good. But, you get that out there a lot, and there's just not the numbers of fish there to be catching them. But we definitely did see on our depth sander a couple of likely-looking marks.
We did.
And then something really big happened.
What happened?
We broke out the breakfast burritos.
Oh, yes.
So talk about boat cooking. Tom pre-made some nice breakfast burritos.
Now, I can't remember what exactly was in it, but it was a mixture of
It was like sausage, egg, chili.
Yes.
I don't know what else. Tom juice.
There's some kind of condiment. I hope it wasn't Tom's juice out of his own body.
No.
But it was delicious, so if it is Tom's own juice, I'll have some more.
Yeah, so we put them in the pie oven.
Yeah.
In the boat and warmed them up. And
I noticed you got quite frustrated with him, like, Tom, are they ready yet?
Well, yeah. I think it was about 10:30 when we cracked them open. Maybe even later. And, not long after I was digesting that still, and we were sort of going through a patch of...
there was a bit of a problem. There was 3 people on board, and there were only... Oh, and there was 4 burritos, so...
Yeah.
You can't really divide 4 between 3, can you?
No, so obviously an alpha had to stand out from the pack. An alpha dog.
So me and Tom know the men etiquette. You never grab the last one. You just brush it off.
No, well, so I did do the token, are you guys sure, right? Before I thought, you know what, I'm just going to be dominant here. I'm going to smash that thing.
And as soon as you put that in your mouth, we go, oh, what a pig of a man.
Exactly.
Took the last one.
You know what? I regretted that a few minutes later as we went through a patch of dolphins and a little bit of a workup, and Rod buckles over and not that Rod.
Oh.
You've gone too early.
Oops.
A rod buckles over and springs back up. I'm like,
it does.
God, that was an actual bite. What the hell? And as we were discussing how unlucky we were that it didn't hook up, you can now play that video.
Yes.
The other rod takes off.
We're on.
Now,
it's playing again.
it is a real sound for sore ears,
Yes.
that line crackling off that Tiagra.
Oh,
And,
it was actually like, I was pinching myself. I thought, is this actually happening?
I know.
Because I saw the first one buckle over a couple of times, and I think it peeled like 3 mil of line off. It just went, and
Yeah.
then it
But we both
just,
saw it.
yeah. And then I'm just like, we were just on.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting right next to this rod. I'm like, we're on. So we basically had a double.
Yeah. I just didn't listen for ages because Adrian tricked me the other day. So, fool me twice, shame on you. So we nearly got spooled. No.
No. Well, it did take
there was
a
no
lot of
mistaking
line.
that one. It was a bloody screamer too. Dumped so much line. And yeah, so just surreal. Awesome to get that hook up. And Tom was put right to the test. He hasn't really. I mean, he's caught a couple of marlin, but nothing with the staying power of a big bluefin like that. And this thing, I thought when it took a big first run, we'd get it pretty quick, but it actually was still very stubborn. And 2 hours later, we got our shot. But in the meantime, Tom's hand had sort of removed a layer of skin from itself from holding the handle.
He goes to me 20 minutes in the fight. Yeah, my hand's hurting. Go, the old Tiagra blister, eh? And then an hour later, he showed me his hand. I'm like, Jesus, do you have any hand left? I should have taken a photo of it.
Like, you have real pathetic wimp hands, don't you? He goes, I wear gloves at work. I'm like, you got to get some calluses, mate. So, yeah, he earned that fish. And, Tom decided he wanted to keep his first big one, which is absolutely fair enough.
Yeah.
And, I didn't even bring my big killing gaff because I thought we'd just be releasing, but then got talked into killing.
You know, because you were on the wheel, I was thinking, oh no, I'm the gaff man.
Yeah.
I'm the last line of, landing this fish. So it put a bit of pressure on me. And I was just thinking, oh, geez.
I got to say, you came through with flying colours.
Yeah.
This thing tried to do an evil underboat manoeuvre right at the last second. And you swung for glory.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness, he's gone under the boat. And I just done a Hail Mary and just went whack.
And pinned him.
And you're like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, I think I've got him. And I'm just pulling him out from under the boat. I'm like, yeah, I've got him.
Yeah, so I was already getting ready to try and reverse back off it. And you're like, no, I've actually got it. I'm like, oh, okay. So, it was a nice fish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were going to show that clip of us hauling in the boat.
This one.
But there she is.
That's over 100. That is over 100. That's like 115. Holy shit.
And that, sir, was a great call.
Yeah. It was basically just over 115, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, it was around about 115. Because we actually weighed it with the guts separate in a bucket. So I can't remember what it. I think it worked out at 115.7 or something like that.
I think the fish weighed 103.9 or something.
103.7, I thought.
And the guts were like 11.9 or something.
Yes, because the guts.
Yes, this was interesting.
Look away if you're squeamish. But
Did you send me the guts?
Yeah, I did send you a video of me dissecting the stomach because I thought when I pulled it out of the fish, I thought, geez, this thing is chockers. And it was as full as I've ever seen one and had very interesting contents. If Adrian can find this video, that would be ideal.
I actually can't find where you sent it to me.
Oh, really?
Found your other videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, hang on. No, he did send it to me. I lied. I'm just a bad computer person.
I was going to say, we are going to edit this up as a video and you'll probably be able to see it there. But yeah, look away if you're squeamish. But this is pretty interesting look at the stomach contents.
Look at this. Full nautilus. And that's a big arrow squid. Use that as a sword bait still.
Now, what is this fish, Dave?
I don't know. I think it might be a barracuda.
It looks too wide, though.
You reckon?
What is that?
It's pretty long.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah. No, you might be right.
Don't know what that is. Maybe a cuda.
But the nautilus is very interesting.
It really is.
So those nautilus squid, for people that are listening, are literally like a shell with like a squid in it.
It's in the family of the cephalopods. So
yeah, I've heard of.
I assume you can eat them if they're in the family of cephalopods.
Well, tuna obviously like them. They're probably real easy to catch.
I think the common name for them down southwest is called a stuck hat.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought they were just called a paper nautilus.
Yeah, that's the actual name.
Yeah.
Paper nautilus.
So, yeah, had those in it and big arrow squid.
Yeah, they look quite impressive. So you could almost tow some dead arrow squids around.
Do you think that's why that tuna was particularly delicious? Because we ate it. It's nearly all gone.
Yeah.
And it was one of the better eating ones.
I've got a loin left in my fridge that we're going to make some sushi with probably Thursday or Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah, so 7 days it's been draining in my fridge. And
that's all right. Dry aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can dry age them.
Well, last barrel I kept the one from Tassie. I had that in my fridge for 7 days, and it was immaculate after that 7 days, and it was just pristine, ripe for the eating.
Yeah. Well, it's usually the liquid and slime and stuff that makes them go off. So you can, if you keep them dry, you can. Well, there is people that dry age fish for like months at a time.
Yeah.
So absolutely no issue doing that, in my opinion. But yeah, so very interesting stomach contents and landmark day for us, Adrian.
Yes, it really was. Yeah, even though you've already been involved in one over the years.
Yeah.
Was that two or so years ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we
Yeah.
landed another one, but
Yeah, because I was like, oh no, I lost my only shot in years. About, was it 3 weeks ago?
yeah,
I lost that one. On a snapper rod again. But anyway, I was like, oh no, my only bite, and then got lucky enough to be involved with another one.
yeah, I know that's quite a small interval between bites, unusual.
Yes, very unusual.
So next one will probably be in like 80 trips now.
Yeah. Well, the tuna fishing's becoming, quite a common occurrence at a Western port. So, and even inside, they've been spotted.
Yeah, true.
So in both entrances. So you never know what the fishery's going to bring in the future.
And it's actually early in the year, so I think the one that you lost that time was in August.
Yes, correct.
And I've definitely seen them there in caught there into November. So
yeah,
plenty more trips. But we're thinking, shock horror, we might actually try and catch something else at some stage. So I think we're
You
planning
reckon?
some maybe like cod trips or
yeah,
bit of a change of pace.
yeah. Look, I'm into trying to the journey to a meatery cod. That's it.
Can we just forget about tag at 100 and just go journey to a meatery cod?
No,
I'll just
well, I've
erase
still got
that.
time on that. That could just go bang, bang, bang. Like I could just go, oh, I'm bored this weekend. I'm going to go to Southwest and
Well, do we want to talk about today, Adrian?
oh, today. What happened today, Dave?
Well, we ducked out today
Yeah,
and did a quick check of the big tuna locations.
did.
And look, it didn't look too bad, but we kind of got a bit distracted because there was heaps of tuna back in a little bit closer, and you'd think hundreds of tuna jumping, we would have whacked a few more tags in, but we did not.
Well, that's, you know what, when you see the tuna behaving like this, it is really frustrating. You'd almost rather not see them at all
Yeah,
because they're so fixated on, one small school of bait, and they were so fickle, especially with a boat heading towards them.
yeah, that's right. I actually sent you a little video here of them busting up and you losing one. 'Cause you
Oh,
did
did
lose
you?
a couple on poppers.
Sent me another video.
I know. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot for you to handle. I'm not sure.
I should have pre-checked the videos that you sent me so I knew what you
I
were
know.
sending me.
I send you all this content through, and you're not even organised. Yeah, here you go.
Oh,
Yeah, you can see them busting up pretty hard there, which they were doing in just small little patches, and then they'd disappear again for a while. So pretty cool.
yeah, no, that's actually great footage there, Dave.
It is nice little workup.
You did well not to grab a rod and cast because I actually hooked up, as you heard in that early.
Yeah.
And
By that stage, though, I just figured that I probably wasn't going to hook up, so I may as well film them with the camera, get
But-
some content.
when they're like that, you basically have to chuck it right at their head to get the bite.
You do.
Yeah, you can't cast a millimetre to the side of it because
That's right.
they're not going to want it.
And you only get a couple of shots before they move on. But that wraps up our local tunaring.
Yeah, it
Um,
does.
Now, our good friend Jonah, I wanted to talk about this.
yes.
He is absolutely rorting the system, don't you think?
Yeah, so do you want to tell us what he's actually doing in Queensland right now?
Well, he's on a
He's been invited.
work. Oh, throw to me.
Yeah.
Work trip. So they're at the Whit Sundays, and I believe they are researching shark interactions with fish being
Well-
caught by fishermen.
Well, they had a name for it.
Yeah, some sort of fish deprecation, maybe. I don't know. But virtually, he's just fishing and then seeing how many fish get eaten by sharks on the way up. I think is what's going on.
So, shark depredation research. That's the terminology he's used.
Depredation.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Really?
Or depredation. I don't know. You try. You see what it says.
Depredation.
Oh, there you go.
I knew you were saying it wrong.
Okay, I've said it wrong.
But yeah, you can see there a nice photo of him with a big Spanish mackerel, which I believe is an actual location we fished when we were there a couple of years ago, Adrian.
Yeah, Double Rock, I think it was.
We hooked a couple of big mackerel.
Which is famous for the big Spanish mackerel and also the mega sharks.
Yes, we also hooked a couple of big bull sharks
Yeah.
and had one eat our Spanish mackerel,
We did.
which was a bit upsetting when we'd spent like a week trying to catch them and the only two we caught got eaten by sharks.
So you're saying this is a rort to the system because you're getting paid to catch fish to get eaten by another fish.
Wow. In simple terms, he's just there sports fishing. He's on a charter boat and everything.
Yeah.
Like a nice, beautiful, big, comfy game boat. I think they've got like two of them. And I think they're just out there fishing all the likely spots and seeing how many fish get attacked by sharks on the way up.
Now, have we heard any sharks?
No, we haven't had a full report from him.
Okay.
But as you know, it is a bit of an issue up that way. The sharks have sort of they've clued on, and in certain areas that receive a bit of fishing pressure, they know that fish on the end of the line are an easy meal. So I think probably northern parts of Australia and over in the west as well, and I think even like you see in South Australia now a lot of bronze whales attacking people's tuna and stuff. So
You do. And we had that here as well. Bronzies and makos and
even great whites.
yes.
So it's more a bit
What makes them great, Dave?
Well, I've seen some average whites, but there's definitely some great ones as well.
Okay. I've definitely only seen some average below average whites.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the real small one, impressive ones.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen some great ones.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty average ones. So it seems like it's becoming more of an issue. I don't know if that's because there's more people out fishing and interacting with the fishery, or if the sharks are like you see the videos of those prawn trawlers and stuff up north, and they've got hundreds of sharks just following them, like Sharknado.
Did you see that that guy showing off his hummingbird sounder where he goes, check this. He's in some river system in Queensland and he's just like whacking the water with his rod. He goes, check my sounder. He's got side screen on, side scan. And then you just see like, you know how it shows like actual like, I guess shadows of fish? Yeah. It's showing like these shadows of sharks just approaching his boat as he's whacking the water.
Crazy.
You'd hate to fall in the water, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. Anywhere up there would be a little bit scary. But yeah, we'll try and get a full report from Jonah once he's
finished sports fishing.
He'll probably have a go at us for this and say, no, it's work, guys. You can't be calling it fun. I'm here working.
Meanwhile, he's posing with Spanish mackerels and
in
cobia
singlets and probably sipping on pina coladas.
He sent a video of him going to the airport on a a golf cart, enjoying life in a singlet, and his sunnies on, and he's loving life. He's not working. Yeah,
pretty much. I think it's a real rort. But
so he's gone on holiday to go sport fishing.
Certainly seems that way. I reckon we'll have a chat to him whenever he's back. It's probably a real long holiday work trip, and get a bit of an update. But we'll keep an eye on that.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about sport fishing, Dave.
Do you?
Yes, because Colombia has banned fishing.
Oh, I did read this.
Yes.
Good topic.
Yes.
Well
now,
done.
what are your thoughts on this? Because I'm going to read an article of what's actually happened here.
Yeah.
So on May 2nd, the Supreme Court of Colombia ruled that recreational fishing was unconstitutional. As a result, Colombians expect a ban on recreational fishing to take effect within a year. Now, this decision comes after the court's 2019 ban on recreational hunting. So what I believe has happened, the hunters have argued animal welfare on the fishermen.
Like a spite thing.
Yes, because the court held that recreational hunting was animal cruelty and a threat to the environment.
Wow.
And they're saying it's, the same thing as fishing. So,
Well, yeah, it is a very tricky subject, isn't it? Because when you really get down to the crux of it, the best justification for us to continue fishing is that we're sustainably collecting food.
or science research.
Science tagging.
Yes. Which brings us back to Target 100.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real tricky one. I don't think the choice should be taken away from anyone, whether they want to sports fish or not. But
Well, I think it's just catch and release fishing, which is a very big, money stimulating for the economy. Like, because I'm sure Colombia has a world class fishery offshore.
well, that's it.
in the forest and everything. So
That's the biggest argument for pro sports fishing is it generates millions upon millions of money into economies around the world, and a lot of these really good fishing destinations are quite poor countries or low socioeconomic areas, and it's really propping up some of their economies. So
100%. Because what the court argued is why they've placed a ban on it is because it violates the principles of environmental protection and animal welfare included in the Colombian constitution. So
yeah, and you can definitely see how anti-fishing people can successfully make that argument.
Yep.
So hopefully that isn't something that eventuates in other countries.
Who knows? Because they already placed that law back in 2019 in the hunting.
Yeah,
That's what they've argued, which is Article 79, and that stands for protect the diversity and integrity of the environment.
yeah. Well, I think there already has been a couple of sneaky bills been attempted to sneak through, even in Australia.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting times with that sort of thing. And
Well, apparently they've got a year, so next May, that's it.
what do you mean? Oh, after that,
In Colombia, yeah.
yeah, right.
There's
Well,
some kind of grace period.
it could go the other way, and they just kill every fish they catch, saying that we're
Wow.
catching for food.
Well, yeah. But there's obviously going to be some massive ramifications.
It's interesting because like Rex Hunt back in the day was all catch and release. Because obviously, in the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s even, there was a bit of a kill mentality.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
100%.
And in some with some species, there was an abundance of fish and people weren't educated. But now it's kind of gone the other way a little bit, where we need to show that we are keeping fish for food because that's the greatest justification you can have.
Well, these days, anyway, it's not all about the glory and the ego, is it, Dave?
No. And genuinely, I think that is a great argument because like there's nothing like fresh harvested seafood that you know where it's come from.
No.
Mind you, we had some really nice fish
Yeah, we did.
just the other night. You've got some very good contacts in the seafood industry,
I do.
refrigeration man.
Yep.
And I wanted to know if anyone else listening to the podcast, has tried this fish because I hadn't heard of it before, and I think it might be my new favourite fish.
Oh, yeah. So I was telling Dave about a week or 2 weeks ago, I had the best fish ever, King Dory. I didn't even know this fish existed.
No.
I knew Silver Dory and John Dory. That's it.
Yep.
But there's another Dory.
I know Dory of Finding Nemo as well.
Well, it's not that Dory either, Dave.
Right.
This
Okay.
is a King Dory. So they live, in the deep sea with the, the blue grenadier and all that, the
Yep.
hoki, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And yeah, they're found in 200 to 600 meters of water, and they are absolutely divine.
Yeah.
They have white, firm flesh, and when you cook it, they are moist and flaky.
Yeah.
It is just heaven when it hits your tongue.
Absolutely amazing. And if I could work out a way to catch them, I definitely would be targeting those things because, unreal. Now, we put up a bit of a poll on our Instagram.
Yes, we did. Did we get the results?
Did we get the results? That's a good question. We should check that out. But the the battle between panko breadcrumbs and a beer battering
Yeah.
of the fish, both of which is absolutely delicious. And you went 1v1 last night. You
I
battered
did.
and you pankoed.
Yeah.
And which
Well,
one?
well, the only reason I did that because I had the tiniest bit of panko left in my pantry. I'm like, I'll panko some and I'll do beer batter on the others.
Yeah.
Now, I love beer batter, but I also love panko. Panko takes a little bit longer to prepare because you got to flour, dust it, then egg wash it, then wrap it in the panko, which can be quite messy.
I think they're both a bit messy, to be honest.
Beer batter is easy. You just get one bowl, 1-to-1 ratio with self-raising flour and beer.
True.
So 1 cup, done.
Yeah.
And a bit of salt. And you ram your fish in and put it in hot oil.
Yeah.
So we got...
So you're checking out the results now, are you? I want to know.
It's gone. But I did screenshot it earlier
Yeah.
because it's gone past the 24-hour mark.
Oh, well, I can still find that. But I want to know what you came up with as being your favourite.
Well, probably beer batter, to be honest. It's nice, crispy. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, right. Well, I went the other way.
Yeah.
And I went with, I think that panko takes the cake.
Well,
I did panko wraps with the big dory dog.
in wraps, it's delicious, pancake.
You can't
It's
beat
delicious anyway.
Yeah.
So I looked at it
I've
before.
got the latest results.
So I think we had about 90 to 100 voters, which is quite good.
People are passionate about these sort of things.
Yep. So we had about 100 voters.
Yep.
And do you know which way it goes?
I've got it here.
Yeah.
So we had panko,
Yep.
66%,
Yep.
and beer batter, 34%.
Okay, so it was about 66 people went for the panko. Wow.
Yeah.
Panko is damn delicious.
It is. It really is. That sweetness of the panko, I think it offsets the flesh of the fish. But just an interesting thing to bring up, and I recommend everyone do a side comparison themselves.
Yeah.
Two delicious ways to eat fish, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
And
They really are.
we've often
Especially
joked
white firm flesh. It's just makes it so easy to eat, and the kids love it.
Yeah, we've often joked you could panko or beer batter anything and it would taste good, but genuinely that dory was quite delicious.
Yeah.
Now, Adrian, did we want to go and check out our fishing reports for the week?
Oh, yes.
Welcome to the hookup. That's right. We are back with the hookup, and after last week where we requested a couple of on the ground reporters to come on board. Two of them seem to have disappeared. Shane and Jonah, of course, is up north, but we did get a new one come aboard. A man named Simon Webster, so really appreciate that. He's down in the East Gippsland region.
Yeah.
So he's written me quite a long report here. Let me...
Wait, who's this that gave you a report?
Simon Webster.
Oh, yeah.
So this is our East Gippsland report.
Oh, wow.
How good's that? So Gippsland Lakes, with the colder weather and frosts, we have seen an increase in bream activity around the Mitchell, Nicholson and Tambo River mouths. Fishing natural structure is producing some larger fish in the 40+ centimetre range, with fresh prawn, mussels and local spider crab being the go-to baits. There you go.
Local spider crab.
Yes.
Now, we've discussed this, is it worth even eating one of those things?
Does he mean soldier crab?
Maybe. Those things are tiny, though, the soldier crabs.
Yeah, they're bream.
Oh, yeah, true. Spider crabs are huge.
Yeah.
They're bigger than your hand.
Unless he's using part of a spider crab.
Remember that mega one we caught in Western Port?
Yeah.
The thing was as big as your head.
Disgusting. There has been a noticeable improvement in the quality of water after the recent algae event. Did you know about that event?
Oh, was there a green-blue algae event?
Some sort of algae event.
Oh, wow.
We weren't invited.
No.
There have been schools of tailor and small salmon from Meetung to Lake's Entrance being caught on small skirts and blade lures whilst trolled. Whiting still being caught in the right side of Nungurna and Barrier Landing Channel.
Would you ever troll skirts for tailor and salmon, Dave?
I love trolling skirts, you know me, Adrian.
Yeah.
So, 100%. But in smaller numbers since the summer peak. Brim being targeted with success around jetties at Paynesville. Very exciting, explosive fishing at short range.
Doesn't Brendan Wing have a boat at Paynesville?
Yeah, there is a large Riviera sitting there.
Is it
It's a
Paynesville?
team boat, I've heard.
Or Meetung?
Meetung.
Yeah.
It happens to be moored outside a pub. Would you believe that? Just
It's very
coincidence.
convenient.
I'm tipping that boat's probably not going to move far from that from that jetty.
Well, why would you? You got accommodation right next to the pub.
Right next to the pub. That's right. Offshore, great weather recently with lots of pinkies being caught at the 6 Mile Reef, 35 to 40 metres. This is a great report. Gummies and small school sharks providing action between the Grange and Pipeline.
So I noticed you smirked a bit
West
when
of
you heard
Lakes.
the word the Grange.
The Grange we've been tipped off as to the qualities of the Grange before, apparently.
And the pipeline. Don't forget the pipeline.
Apparently the Grange is good for makos. West of Lakes, 17 to 21 metres seems to be the go-to depth. Sword boats have turned up in force
Yes.
with another 170 kilo fish checked into lakes over the past weekend. This crew putting in an overnight mission and many hours to achieve this. I know there was also a 200 kilo one caught,
And I know there was a 90-something caught as well.
so there was a few. This week, so putting in an overnight mission and many hours to achieve this. Everard Canyon seeing some great fish caught, definitely. So I think there was a 260 caught there a couple
Wasn't
of
that
days
a
ago.
360, Dave?
Well, I think that might have been the estimation, and then once she was on the scales, she dropped down a little bit. But
Yeah. Should we get the scales recalibrated?
maybe they're probably pretty hard to call sometimes, those fish. Now you've put me off my game. Everard Canyon seeing some great fish caught with boats running from both Malakuta and Cape Conran. Brendan Ling and Blue Eye also being caught. Lake Tyre's entrance remains open. You're kidding me?
Oh, it's open.
All the prawns are escaping with a very good quality brim being caught. The Glasshouse power line area, a current hotspot, live prawn being deadly if you can get them. Flathead's still about, but things quietening down with the colder water. Bem River fishing well as usual, but larger fish are harder to find currently. Entrance remains very large after the recent flood down the river. There are several new snags in the lake and that must be avoided by boaters. I don't know about that.
Snags, like sausages from Bunnings.
We tend to just ram over snags.
Yes.
The lake adjacent to Swan Lake Mouth and Mud Lake have been red hot at evening bite time. In short,
This
the
is
east
a large report.
we're just about done. Large, but I feel everything was relevant.
Yeah, it
just
really
a lot
is.
happening down there. In short, the east is fishing extremely well. In the next few months, we'll see our peak season for bream and estuary perch in the Gippy Lakes and its tributaries, and sword fishing offshore during weather windows. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Simon.
Now, any tuna in that report?
No, we won't be going there then, will we?
No.
Actually did see a big bluefin on a sword rig off lakes, I think a week
Was
or
it
two
a big
ago.
eye or a bluefin?
Bluefin.
Okay, nice.
Shane's just sent me through a message, something about COVID,
Oh,
and that's why he hasn't given us a Western report. But I've definitely got a few things written down that I've managed to conjure myself.
oh.
Right,
You
so
spent some time conjuring some demons, have you?
some report demons. So I will start on the southwest since Shane's disappeared.
Yeah.
Of course, the big tuna and the small tuna.
Yes, lots of tuna.
Still
Lots
heaps
and lots.
of big fish coming in from Port Mac.
Good mate, Fergie. Fishing with Fergie was down there slaying them.
He got on the school tuna down there at Portland. But I know there is bigger fish there to be had. We saw Chris Cassar actually got a pretty big fish
solo barrel?
which is a great effort out
Oh,
of Portland.
no. How big?
I never saw a weight.
Okay.
Looked like a good fish though. But all the charters and stuff, I think they're just, keeping customers happy with schoolies. But I think if you dedicated some time
Yes.
out of Portland, you'd pretty easily
As Matt Hunt says, everybody's happy.
they're keeping everybody happy.
Yeah.
If you dedicated a bit of time down there to just hunting big fish, I think you'd find them relatively easily.
Yes.
There's all that happening. We've got obviously tuna spread through Apollo Bay also, and
Oh,
obviously
secret
some-
Apollo Bay reports. Is
yes, I've been tipped off.
it? Oh, you've been
Yeah.
tipped.
Bit of Apollo Bay action, and I'm sure there's some bigger ones cruising through there as well.
So we've got a King Kong, Donkey Kong report.
What I don't know what that is.
The fish of the week.
Oh
Oh, we haven't got one.
no,
Oh,
Sorry, I forgot that was the thing
I
we were
was
doing.
ready to press that button.
Oh, just press it anyway.
Yeah. King Kong, Donkey Kong.
Well, I'm giving
Hey, I
fish
think we caught fish of the week.
I think I'm giving that fish of the week to Tom Standing.
Well
Well
done,
done,
Tom.
Thomas. You got the King Kong, Donkey Kong fish of the week.
Yeah, I forgot about us. We did something good.
Yes.
Yeah, and as we've already covered, there's some good sword fishing happening, but down in Tassie, Eaglehawk Neck just having a great swordfish season.
They really are. And bluefin on the shelf too.
Absolutely. Lockie Nichols has been getting quite a few swords.
I think Wizza, she got a 200 and something kilo sword that she tagged and released. So
Yep. So
well
that
done to her.
would be Brody Corbett and partner, who they've they released a really nice one.
Yep. Estimated over 200.
Lockie Nichols got one out of a tinny. Did you see that?
No.
I don't know if it's as small as your one, so I don't know if it's as cool. But I think
it's not Australia's favourite renegade.
he
is
might
it?
have stolen a bit of your thunder because that was one of your plans, wasn't it?
Oh, to go down to Eaglehawk with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
You said swords up at Burmie too, didn't you?
Yes, there's been a few swords getting weighed in at Burmie by wreck anglers.
Funny.
And I did see some on the commercial boats as well.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a good fishery happening there off the canyons.
Yes.
Because, as marlin fishermen off Burmie, we did a lot. We always say, we should venture to the canyons.
Yeah.
But we never do.
Yeah, there is some good looking ground
Yeah.
there, so it's not surprising that it's holding a few swordfish. We talked there's good bluefin down at Tassie too, and our sort of opposite of us in Devonport there.
Yes.
They're getting their local bluefin, which is kind of a new fishery for them as well. So
What, big ones?
there's been a couple of big ones. There's also been quite a lot of smallies.
I reckon that northwest coast would hold some rather large fish.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's where the
Some
the
rather
shelf-
large weather as well.
Yes.
Quite nasty weather up that way. There is Western Port whiting going well. Your friend Ange
Yeah.
from the fishmongerer man.
Yeah, he did well off I think Turtle's Head.
You wouldn't think a fishmonger would have to go catch fish.
No, but it's he says he does it as a mental
Yeah, of
stimulation
course.
thing to
Yeah.
clear his head.
That's right.
He doesn't care if he catches a cold or not. But
No.
Yeah, it's all about being out there in the fresh air.
Yeah, so good report from him on the whiting.
Yeah, and he did see that you snuck a bluefin down the ramp.
What? Oh, he saw our bluefin frame,
Yes, he
our
did.
barrel frame at the ramp.
Yeah.
Dom has been on the gummies.
Oh no, he's not
Inside
mucking
Western
this
Port.
time, is he?
He's mucked up a few gummies. And
I did see it was no mucking because it had a rather large
had a
gold
chain
chain
on
on it.
I thought that was quite funny, actually.
Yes.
And offshore gummy sharks and school sharks quite plentiful for those chasing those.
They really are.
And, of course, squid, rounding out the reports.
Yeah, I was actually going to try go for a squid this week, but I haven't had time.
Yeah.
Because, this time of year is good on the big ones, so
I want to take Sam out in the boat soon, get him
Yeah.
on. 4 months old, he's ready.
I don't think so.
Bit young? He's ready. I wouldn't mind catching a few squids soon, but that is the hookup.
Tuna, you reckon?
Get him on the tunas. That is the hookup.
Yeah.
Quite an extensive one. Good luck to anyone out this week, and if anyone wants to send any more reports through, feel free, and we'll get them up there.
And don't forget, you can always like and comment on our YouTube channel as well. And if you haven't already, please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yeah.
Because she's been a little bit slow.
Yeah, Dave's getting a bit disheartened by it all, how slow it's moving. But I think that's YouTube, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. We get a lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
It just doesn't always translate.
No.
And
It
I'm
doesn't get
blaming
the
the
reach.
machine that is YouTube. I want to bring back a segment we haven't done for a while.
Oh,
I've been a bit happy lately,
okay. Here we go.
but
To Peter Griffin for You Know What Really Grinds My Gears.
Thanks, Tom. You know
Mars-
what really grinds my gears?
ooh, I spoke over the segment. I'm going to ask you to find another clip.
I did see this clip, so don't worry.
I took one this morning.
Yes.
Something really grinds my gears, Adrian.
Please
We're at the
bear
boat
with me.
ramp. This is me padding for time.
Yep. We're at the boat ramp. And
Most unorganised button man in the world.
no,
We're at the boat ramp.
Yeah, and it is a stunning picture of your boat,
Yes.
which I'm going to play the video now.
Whack that play button. This
Oh.
is what really grinds our gears. If the bin's already full, don't just jam shit on top so it falls out, birds get into it, and it goes everywhere. That is disgusting. Shame, shame, shame. I was about to blame you if you watched that whole video.
Oh.
Let's say something that this guy over here would do.
Well, yeah, I actually saw that at the ramp. I go, Dave, that really grinds my gears. Like,
Ugh.
who in their right mind at the boat ramp sees the bin full and then they place rubbish on top of the bin, around the bin? What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, mate, just take it home and put it in your own bin.
Yeah, or leave it in your boat or a car and put it at the boat wash or
You're bloody
whatever.
right next to a waterway, a tidal waterway.
Yes, so that can get sucked out of the entrance very quick.
Oh, of course. You get crows and stuff pecking through the rubbish, a bit of breeze, and it all goes into the water.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Gonskis.
So that really annoys me. I've
And-
got a second one.
Oh, you got a second grinds my gear. Do I have to play the segment again?
No, you don't.
Okay.
But I was going to talk about this last week and I forgot.
Yeah.
Now, I had a bunch of
My
tools.
gears.
Thanks, Tom. You know what really grinds my gears?
Sorry, Dave.
Unnecessary. I had a bunch of tools and stuff in the back of my ute. They've been there for ages.
My
Now,
goodness.
This is like my spare toolkit. It's actually got like heaps of stuff in there. And it's also got bearings and all sorts of stuff for the boat.
The bearing's gone too.
Oh, yeah, bearings for the boat,
The grease, the mallet.
grease, everything.
Oh my goodness. Someone actually.
Electrical stuff.
Oh shit.
Yes. Now, it sits in the back of my ute under a tonneau cover. And look, I shouldn't leave it in there, but someone came onto my property, opened up my tonneau and took it. And needless to say, that is really infuriating.
You know what? I don't even know what kind of value you'd get for that. Probably next to nothing.
No,
So, and it's
I just now have to go buy that stuff again.
yeah.
So,
I remember you were so proud when you went to King's Fall Drive Supercentre and bought that
yeah, I mean, it's,
on-road kit, tool kit. Had everything in it.
yeah, they're grouse.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the best quality, but it's just like a emergency kit.
Yeah.
And now if we have an emergency, we've got no emergency kit.
You got no spanner.
So just, get a job, work for stuff and buy it yourself. Don't steal my shit. Now put up a high-tech camera and I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
If you try it again.
Now I think good mate Brendan Wing had a grinds my gear as well.
Yeah.
Did he?
We shouldn't laugh. It's actually horrific. Brendan's big into his cars at the moment.
Yes.
And he's just had his pride and joy engine rebuilt for one of his Tiranas.
Oh dear.
And first turning the key to fire it up, and I believe it's gone bang. And I think this is like an $18,000 to $20,000 engine.
Yeah.
Because during shipping, they've put a rag in, where'd they put it? One of the inlets.
One of the air intakes,
Somewhere like that.
just
And
to stop dust and moisture going in.
yeah. And they've hooked it all up, fired it up, and it sucked the rag
Oh, they've
in.
obviously put the hose over the
Yeah.
hole that the rag was in, and it sucked it right into the block and destroyed it.
I do really feel bad
Yeah.
for that, for him.
I'm sure Brendan Wing sorted it out.
Well, we haven't had an update, but
No.
yeah, quite sad times for him.
Yes.
So I do imagine that would grind his gears. Yes, Adrian. Do we want to throw to questions?
Sure, we can go
Are
to
we at that
questions.
stage of the podcast? I've got
Yeah.
no timer going. I don't even know
Yeah,
how long we've
we're
been.
at 49 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably about the right amount of time.
So Dave's put up a beautiful photo, which I'm going to find in a second.
It's a big 3 meter he flooded.
Yeah.
Well, I might actually read. We had one come in on Facebook before I forget that it's on there.
Yeah.
Might swap over and have a look at that one, and then we'll go through our Instagram ones. So, Yanni Genaris sent us in a question. Hey guys, topic for the podcast. My friend and I go out on his boat very often. Sometimes we troll, sometimes we just sit with some burley and fish. However, we can never decide what to actually go for or what's about. How do you guys decide what to go for and when to go for it, whether that be land-based or offshore? Thanks in advance. Wow.
Well, I think the first problem is if you're already out there deciding what to go for, that's kind of hard.
Prior preparation
Yeah.
prevents piss poor performance.
Yes, so you need to basically decide what you're going to chase
Yeah.
off, I guess, anecdotes from previous years or live reports, like recent
Absolutely.
reports. And
Yeah.
that's when you decide what you're going to do.
Now, it's not hard, even if you're not like clued into the fishing community. Like if I look at social media, obviously most of my friends are into fishing and I get a pretty quick snapshot of what's going on.
Most of the time you see a photo of a fish and go, he caught that there using this. And you go,
Got it.
without even looking at what he's written.
Triangulated his position. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you know, fishing tackle reports put out pretty up to date fishing reports that tell you what's biting, what's going on.
Yep.
Enough to sort of give you an idea of what's happening at that time. And as you were saying, like once you've done a bit of fishing, you'll work out what times of year certain fish are abundant and where they are, where you're going to be able to access them most easily. So, I think the biggest tip is to do a bit of research, work out what you want to fish for.
And you check the weather too.
Check the weather.
Yeah, because you can't always catch what you want to catch if the weather's no good.
Yeah, check weather. And, go out with a plan. So, yeah, basically we just go fish tuna all the time. No. If say we wanted to go and catch squid,
Yeah.
we now know that this time of year is quite good for squid.
Yeah.
And
On certain areas.
up the north arm of
Yep.
Western Port can be quite good this time of year. They can be pretty high up in the port, especially if the water's quite clean.
Yep, for sure.
So we head up there and we pretty much just target squid, and we know to target them around tide changes, especially.
Well, I think tide change just makes it a bit easier for you to stay in a certain area,
Yeah.
and your lures can get down to the bottom.
Well, generally, that's a good time anyway.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it's just time on the water and doing a little bit of research before you head out. And, I think going out there then not knowing what you want to fish for just creates a lot of confusion, and you're neither here nor there, and you don't achieve anything really.
Well, there is some guys that will go off the almighty almanac as well. Almanac.
The Almac.
Which we don't have any experience with at all, but there are some
Well,
guys that swear by it.
We were looking at it for a while, but
Yeah.
what's the point? We're going fishing anyway.
True. I suppose some people swear on it because it saves them a lot of heartache
Yeah.
and some hip pocket money.
Well, yeah, I've heard it actually is quite accurate. It goes off the moons and
Yeah.
Maoris and stuff. Something to do with Maoris.
Yeah? Okay. Haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, do we want to check out some of the other questions?
Yeah. So we got Nathan McDermott. Can we get the food challenges back? Well, I actually did film a food challenge of Dave's brother Tom eating a live barrel
Have you got that?
beating heart. I can if you want to keep going on, and I'll quickly find it.
Yeah. We've done it. Yeah, so we've done a little bit of a food challenge.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And basically Adrian told Tom that you have to eat the beating heart of your first big tuna. And Adrian and I have both not done that. So but Tom thought it's a rite of passage and took a bit of a nibble out of this still beating heart, which I think that in some parts of the world it is said to give you magic powers, isn't it, Adrian, or something like that?
Well, I think they believe you are what you eat, is the saying.
You are a tuna.
And if you eat an almighty warrior, you become that almighty warrior. And so I believe Tom's going to become a big fat bluefin.
Some might say he's already a bit of a bluefin. Not fat, though. I wouldn't say that about you, Tom. Have you found it?
Yes, I have.
I've
So
patted
here we go.
for you.
All right, Tom's caught his first jumpy tuna, so he's got to eat the heart, and it is still beating.
It's a big heart.
So go for it, Tom. It's still beating too. Look at it. Hey, that's coming out of the way.
Yeah, so Dave just has a go at him and saying, hey, that bit of it's going to come off the weight of your fish.
Yeah, tuna weighed less. But good on him for doing that. He actually said it didn't even taste that bad.
So, yeah, we got the food challenge back.
And watch that space. I'm sure there'll be more. Do you want me to read another question here, Adrian?
Yeah, go for it.
We're in different sequences again, but
Oh, okay.
we've just had one in from Memphis Heren Fishing.
Oh, what's he saying?
If you could target one species for the rest of your lives, what would it be? Plus, you have to live off it for eating. King dories.
Giraffe.
Giraffe?
Oh, we're talking about fish species.
We're not. He didn't specify.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Well,
They'd
we're
have
talking,
nice neck meat.
we're talking about fish.
Oh.
Neck meat.
Giraffes. You can do a neck fillet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about species. I absolutely love snapper. Love
Yeah.
catching them. Love eating them.
True.
So probably snapper, Memphis, and because it's in our locality, yeah, snapper.
I'd say swordfish because I love catching them and eating them, but I'd probably starve.
Yeah,
If that was the
swordfish
case.
are great, except for driving 4.5 hours each way, towing, and then 3 hours out to sea each way.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it enjoyable.
I'd like only wanting to catch it side. Obviously, I love bluefin.
Yeah.
I do love eating it.
Yeah.
I do feel I'd get over it after a little while.
Okay.
Snapper is definitely a nice white flesh that you can you can use it a lot of different ways. It's quite good like that.
What about king dory?
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
King dory.
But how would you catch it? You don't know where to begin.
I don't know, but I'd work it out because they're pretty bloody tasty.
I suppose it's caught on long lines, wouldn't it?
Wow. Apparently, they sort of live in the areas we fish.
Yeah.
We'll have to work that out.
Okay.
Next one.
Yeah.
Someone said talk barrels. Where, what, when, how, why. Can't get enough. We do talk about them a lot, though. I feel like we've covered barrels. Yeah, maybe check out our channel. We'll put up, obviously, the footage of the fish from the other day, so that'll help you get your barrel fix, I reckon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Rightio, Adrian, your turn.
Okay, we're still out of sync, but I'm just going to go next on my list. Team Born to Fish _tb2f.com.au. He's saying, who gaffs a tuna better? At Dave Danning or at Adrian Lutia? Well, I think he's referring to because Dave complained that I gaffed his boat the other day, pulling that fish in. And I said, well, Dave ripped half my paint off gaffing my fish on my boat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. We both seem to be pretty good at it.
Yeah. No, I think he's saying how bad we are at it by gaffing gel coat and paint and
Nah, we're not bad at it.
Okay.
We seem to land a reasonable amount.
yeah.
Geez, that was at the other end of the list of what
Yeah, so they obviously
is Joey's CRV manual? Yeah, it actually is.
Is it?
That's a funny question.
Is it manual?
Yeah.
I didn't Oh.
He's
well.
Honda. Do you want to buy it? The bank is empty.
Oh, well. Joey, you may have a buyer.
He's keeping it for his full driving adventures.
We said
Joey's going to do a four-wheel drive channel. So keep an eye out for that. Adventures of the CRV.
I had no idea it was manual.
Yeah. Absolute rocket it is too.
Not a lot of people own manual cars these days. I mean, I own one, you own one, Joey owns one. That's about all I know who owns one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got to say that. Next one I got here is, got any tips on newborns, Dave? Well, yeah, mine's sort of coming out of the newborn stage, I guess. He's 4.5 months now, the cute little bugger. He's thriving.
What kind of tips are we talking about? Like hair tips or?
My tips are come to terms with the fact that you're never going to get a full night's sleep again.
Yes. Look, my daughter's almost 4 years old and I'm still not getting sleep. So
just do as much as you can to help your wife because they've got a much harder job than we do. And don't go fishing as much as I do.
yeah.
No, but yeah, they're the best. That's all I can say. They're the best. Sam got a couple of awards today from his swimming class because he was flapping around like a lunatic in the water and
Oh yeah, the old
dipping his head under.
lunatic flapping award.
So he's got himself some nice awards there. So yes, congrats.
Good tips, Dave.
You want to?
Yeah,
Give us
so
another
we got another one from Finding Joe Offshore. When's the best time to target barrels outside of Flinders? Well, I'm not sure if there is a best time.
No,
I think you just got to spend time on water and just keep going.
Pretty
Even though
much.
it's pretty hard to keep going, all the time when you're not seeing a lot or catching a lot.
it does get very disheartening. But if you just persist, eventually you get a fish, and we've proven that. But I was saying to Suraj today
Yeah.
of King Kong Donkey Kong fame
Yeah.
that did you just hit that button?
What button?
I thought you were going to hit
No.
that. I would rather troll around out there for a 1 in 50 chance of a barrel than be inshore fishing for many other things. It's just the way I am. It's a massive challenge, and that's what makes it so worthwhile to me. So you just have to really commit, and I think go out there a lot. And sort of the more you go, the more you learn. I've sort of mapped out a fair bit of likely looking areas now over the last few years, and I feel like I'm probably a higher chance of hooking one than I used to be.
Yeah, I think if you're in the game, going out there as frequent as we do, you're definitely going to be more of a chance of catching one.
And you just got to commit, because if you get disheartened and stop and start fishing for gummies or whatever, then you're definitely not going to hook one.
And by all means, there is beginner's luck out there as well.
Oh, absolutely.
You do see it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You can just wait. You can just wait till there's reports, by the way.
Yeah.
But the problem is, because it's so close to everyone, a million boats go out, and there's just not the numbers of fish to support that. So you might have, if it gets busy out there, you might have 50 boats and 1 fish caught.
Yeah.
The odds are not in your favour.
But sometimes you can go out there with fresh eyes, and you might get one stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. It has happened.
Yeah.
It can happen, and it will happen again. I'll go another question.
Yeah.
What's Dave's favourite trout fly?
Oh.
Well, obviously, I'm a purist, so I only fish a dry fly. Usually like a nymph.
A nymphomaniac.
I've never obviously trout fished with a fly rod in my life.
Isn't nymph flies like for beginners?
It's just a fly name that I knew, so I went with it.
Well, there's mayflies, there's march flies, there's house flies, there's super flies.
For super fly for a white guy. Yeah. So not much trout on fly experience on my end.
Okay.
And tipping that was a tongue-in-cheek question.
Yeah, I think so.
You want to hit us with another one there, Adrian?
Yeah, how did I miss that? I went straight past that.
I'm so confused. We are just randomly picking ones now.
Anyway, we got one from questionnaire Luke McCredden.
Oh, good.
Yes, love the show. I'm heading to Safeways tomorrow and I'm torn on condiments. Like, what should I get? Hey, what are your favourite condiments? Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work.
Oh, hot sauce.
Now,
always.
Now, my wife always gets quite frustrated and angry. She opens the fridge door. There's always new condiments. She looks in the pantry, goes, what are all these sauces? I'm like, I don't know. I just bought it. It looked good. I'm going to try it soon.
Yeah.
Now, is this a common problem males have at home?
Yeah, or
Buying
I'll
too many
go
condiments.
fishing and buy a new bottle just for that.
Yeah.
And then it goes home and there's like 4 sitting in there that are 2/3 full.
Well, I love buying like hot sauce and
Yeah, we like spicy food.
yeah. So there's like 10 or 12 different bottles of hot sauce. Then you got like different soy sauces. One for sushi. One for dumplings. There's like millions of different soy sauces as well. So
I quite like a what's that local one?
Worcester sauce.
Grumpy's.
Oh, Grumpy's. Yeah.
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 We get
They're
that
good.
from some of the markets around here. That's quite good, Luke. And
also
sriracha. Good old
mayonnaise.
sriracha.
Mayonnaise is good.
Yeah, mayonnaise is good.
Good condiment.
Yeah.
Best foods, I reckon, Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know your mayonnaise? Go best food.
Okay. Is that the one in the jar?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
like-
kind of like a tub thing. Yeah, it's good.
The real whole egg one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm glad that we covered that. I was worried that we wouldn't talk about condiments.
Kim, fishing dude, he's saying, nice Gurnard, Dave. Love it.
We know Dave doesn't like baitboard stacking whiting, but what about flatty dogs? For sure. Big fan. I actually love eating flatty. Probably secondary only to King Dory's. And I do think if you stack them on a bait board because they're quite flat, as the name would suggest, you could get a nice stack going.
A nice flat board
Yes.
stack.
Just really tessellate them, and you could probably go.
Oh, you want to go like a thatch
You probably go like
and build it like a full-on thatch.
Oh wow!
Thatch stack.
You could probably get up to like an octo stack.
What are they? 20 per person?
Flatties.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Quite a
Interesting.
lot. So, yeah, big on the flatty stacking. I think it could work quite well. Not visually appealing, but I think if you got creative,
Where did we catch that flatty? I remember taking that.
Mulloway grounds
Oh, yeah.
off Coronella. Not a mulloway, as you can see.
Mm.
Braid to top shot connection for game fishing.
Yeah.
FG, or is a splice necessary?
I reckon you want a PR bobbin.
PRs are a very nice connection. Splices is a very nice connection.
Yeah. So you can actually buy braid called hollow core, and then you can splice your top shot straight into it.
Well, I believe that is 100% connection.
Yeah.
I think all these knots are though.
Yeah.
Mine are just FG'd.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to do at home. I've got solid braid on my reels.
Guys at the tackle shop will PR.
I need to get a bobbin because I really do like a PR connection.
They're smooth.
Yeah, it looks really strong.
Yeah.
But I have quite long top shot on my tuna reels because I'd rather the fish not get that top shot off. So I've got like 300 meters.
Oh, okay.
And then underneath it's all braid.
Yeah.
So when they get the braid off the reel, that's a good run. And I think Tom's one the other day did.
It was on the braid.
But, you know, the idea there is you don't have braid off reel for very long. So the knot's not seesawing on and off
No.
very much. So mine are FG, never had an issue with that. But any of those connections are really nice connections in my opinion. Another one here. Will Joe ever answer a question with a simple yes/no answer, or is it the real estate agent in him that's got to sell everything? Oh, Joe's just a bit flamboyant.
He's a bit of a politician, not answering questions straight, just weaving and dodging around it with a irrelevant answer.
He's just flamboyant, isn't he? He just likes to really get into the questions.
Well, when he comes in studio, he's normally sitting there and he's wearing his suit and he's got his hair spiked up with wax in it and he's looking quite sharp.
Yes, Jonah just told us that he got a bull shark and whacked the cobia.
Oh.
Scientifically speaking.
So he whacked him with a shark's jaws.
Live report there. Now, that's quite a lot of questions. There is more.
Oh, wow, there's more.
I feel like we've covered quite a lot. And some of these I think we have covered in the past as well.
Talk barrels, where, what, when, how, why. Can't get enough.
I already read that one out earlier.
Okay.
You weren't listening. We'll finish it off with one more from our reporter man, Simon.
Yeah.
From East Gippsland. And that'll probably do us for the questions. Hi, boys. My question for tonight is when trolling for bluefin, do you start off trolling a spread of lures/skirts of various sizes and styles until you get a hit, then switch everything over to be similar to the lure that got the bite, or stick to multi-style/color spread? Regardless, I feel that once we establish a pattern, we do change the other lures over to suit. Like some days they'll only be on the diving lures and sometimes they'll only be hitting skirts or spreader bars.
Yeah.
So if they're only hitting diving lures, we tend to switch them all over to those.
Well, I think when you go fishing for school tuna, you get to play around with a variety of lures to see what works and in how the fish are feeding, and you get to try different things.
That's right. Because you get multi-shots a day.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're very visual. You know they're there. So if they're not eating, you know that you need to keep changing until they do.
Like today, I'm like, we're not going to catch them trolling.
No, but you know what they probably would have eaten today if we brought it with us?
A spreader bar.
Spreader bar.
Yeah, because they're on small.
Yeah, with a small bait behind it, flittering across the top. Probably would have brought them undone. But we only really brought the barrel lures, so we were just casting at them. Excuse me. Now, that is a lot of questions. Thanks so much, everyone who wrote in. Really appreciate everyone getting on board.
We're going to give a hat away, Dave.
Are we?
We've got some V12 hats to give away.
Well, you need to send out the hat from last week.
Okay.
We will send last week's hat out. I think that was to Joel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's on the way.
Anyway, I've got a live picture come through from Jonah. There he is, smacking the cobias. They look like remoras, but anyway.
Certainly looks to be working there.
He's even put a camera on his jigging or bait rod.
Yeah. That is the scientific part, isn't it? What happens when a
Oh,
shark
yeah.
bites his camera off?
Well, I think they've got it on wire, don't they? On the hook? I don't know.
Maybe.
Hard to see.
Anyway, who do you think asked the best question then? We can't give it to Luke because he got one last week.
Yeah. Did he get his hat?
Nah.
Okay.
We've got hats to give out.
Yeah.
We've got to catch up on the hats. I don't know. Hang on a second. What about the first one about how do we decide what to fish for?
Oh, yeah, that one was pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's go with that one.
Yeah. You won yourself a V12 Mercury hat.
The hat is a V12,
One of these bad boys.
as shown by Adrian there. Brilliant modelling.
Thanks.
Ripper. All right. Well, yep. Thank you very much for sending questions, guys. Love that we can do that every week. Look forward to next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Cheers. Legends, thanks for listening to Win Against Tide again. That's it for another episode. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'd be doing us a massive favour. Thanks, guys. Real professional, Adrian.